Welcome back to the channel, folks. We're doing something that we haven't done in quite some time. We're doing a lesser known series video. We are at Devil's Kitchen Lake in southern Illinois. It's about a 1,000-acre lake, 10 horsepower limit, full of standing timber. It's a little bit dangerous to run around, and we have some beautiful fall-like conditions today. I mean, I've got a hoodie on. It's like 59 to 60 degrees. It's supposed to get up in the mid-80s today. Bluebird skies. We do have some wind, so I'm gonna have to be mindful of all the standing timber out there. And there's only 2 boats here. We got one other truck here and myself. So that's pretty cool about it. That's one of the things I like about these lakes over here. These smaller lakes, they don't get fished all that much. Low pressure situations as far as people out on the water, and it's gonna be fun. I have no idea what to expect. I really don't have any idea what to expect. You know, these lakes, there's not a lot of information about them, so you just kind of got to dump your boat in and, you know, fish for a while and see what you find. But the leaves are starting to change a little bit. We need some rain. We've had a little rain last couple of days, but it's been pretty dry so far as we're coming into fall, which is typical. Water levels are dropping a little lower, so we're gonna dump this boat in and we're gonna explore a new lake. Give me a thumbs up if you like this content, and a subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Let's go see if we can catch a few fish. There's 3 lakes in the Crab Orchard Wildlife Refuge. You've got Devil's Kitchen, Little Grassy, and Crab Orchard Lake, and they all require a U.S. daily fee. So it's just $2 per vehicle to launch your boat, $12 a can. Very affordable, but you got to find a station. Little Grassy, there's one at the campground. You can go to the marina store and pay. If you get the envelopes, you can just leave it in the door. And then at Devil's Kitchen, there's also a place to pay here. So that's what we just did. We just pulled up there, paid our little $2. We're gonna go launch the boat. Here's the pay station right here. So we've got envelopes in here. Just grab an envelope, put your money in there, and deposit the fee here, and you're good to go. That allows you to fish any of the 3 lakes all day long. All right, folks, we made it on the lake. The wind is blowing, and one thing I noticed right off the bat about this lake is it's super clear. I mean, it looks like it's 10 or 15 foot of visibility. Very, very clear lake. You know, up by the dam, we're gonna run. Kind of what I'm doing is I'm just looking at this map here of the lake and trying to figure out a good starting spot. Now, this lake's got standing timber in it, so it is a little dangerous to run around in. And we do have wind, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick out kind of a rocky. There's grass too in the lake. I noticed some grass. I think I want to pick out a sort of a rocky main lake bank. Maybe throw a jig, swim jig, something like that. Just kind of get my feet wet a little bit, get a feel for the lake. So we're just kind of looking at this map here. And I'll put in right here, and you can see all the standing timber as you go down the lake. It gets increasingly treacherous, even out here in deeper water. I think this maximum depth of this lake's like 90 feet, so it's got some deep water in it for sure. But the wind's blowing kind of this way, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of run down and check out some of these points and some of this main lake stuff right here, and just get a feel for lake. You got to start somewhere, so we're gonna pick something out as we run down the lake and see what happens. All right, first bass of the morning. Cumberland Pro Lures Procaster jig, and there are definitely bass in the lake. This was up there in about 10 feet off that grass line, and there is standing timber everywhere. The wind just kind of pushing us around. It's a little bit scary. Gotta be on your toes, or you will end up in the drink. There's another fish. Jig. All right, folks, we are getting some bites on the little jig, a little fish. We're just gonna continue to do this for a little bit longer and then make some adjustments as needed. I mean, man, it's sketchy out there on the main lake because there's so much timber. So we're kind of tucked back in this creek and just flipping some wood, getting a few bites, just kind of waking up slowly. Bite. Got a little too excited on that. It's about a 2.5 pounder. It's a nice one. Topwater fish. Little guy. Yeah. Caught his one off the base of that tree. Well, definitely getting bites on the jig. It's got a little college crawl in there. It ain't easy, man. It never is it? Got him. It seemed like they want that sucker moving fast. Jig fish. See, we got a really hard thermocline down there, like 18 feet. It's pretty solid. There's no wind over here in this corner, and you can see it plain as day. So that's what we're trying to target. We're targeting, you know, that, I don't know, most of the fish have been like 10 to 14 feet that we're catching, but I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing some fish out there. Like, you can see some fish right there, but I can't get them to bite. There we go. There's a bear on that point. Yes, sir. Man, we catching little guys. We just catching little guys. Just throwing that jig. It's so windy. You know, I can't really. You can't. Maybe. I mean, there's standing timber everywhere. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it's kind of dangerous out here in this wind. So I'm trying to halfway stay out of the wind, and still just throwing this little. This is a 1/2 ounce Cumberland Pro Lures Procaster. It's green pumpkin. I got a big bite baits college crawl on the back of it, and we're getting some bites. Well, we had one pretty good one earlier that jumped off because I was being stupid. But other than that, it's been just a dink fest. But we are having fun setting the hook, and we're continuing to cover some water and try to figure things out. Go. Jig fish. Definitely relating to wood. There's a little lay down there. Man, I'd like to catch like a 2 pounder or something. These are all just like 12-inch fish. Where are they at, man? Just gonna keep working back in this creek. The water's getting a little more stained. Because the main lake, I mean, it's like super, super clear. And there's trout in this lake. I've been seeing them. I think there's a lot of trout in this lake because I can't get them to bite. I'm just throwing at some fish and they look right. Just being stubborn. It's 30 12-inch fish. We'll catch one that's 16. There we go. Goes a bass on the old chatterwagon. Trying to figure out something I can cover a little water and get bit on. Some swim jig bites, but let's pick up this chatterbait. We get back in this creek a little further, we'll get out of some of this wind. I can slow down and maybe fish a shaky head or something. I don't know. It's kind of limited right now. Got him. Knock my beaver bug off, sucker. Well, we're catching some fish, guys, but ain't much to them. There we go. There's a little guy. I'll bet if you put something real finessey on, you can catch as many of these as you want. Just kind of fishing mid-sized stuff. All right, folks, a little midday report. Man, it is a beautiful day out here. Super windy, wind's blowing like 20 miles an hour, and this is what we're catching right here. Water temps are like 83 degrees, air temps are, it may be high 70s. It just feels really fall-like out here. Man, I just don't know about the quality of fish in this lake. I have fished this lake before, but it's been, geez, it's been probably 12 years ago. And it was notorious for having small fish in it. There are some big fish in here, but you just don't get a lot of mid-sized fish in here. So that's kind of what we're experiencing today. Just a lot of small fish. You know, I've been throwing this Cumberland Pro Lures 1/2 ounce Procaster with a little Big Bite Baits college crawl on there, and I'm getting some bites. You know, I've got bites on a shaky head and chatterbait and some other stuff, but the bites I'm getting are around wood. Water temps are 83 degrees. I can't remember if I said that or not, but it's just you know, I'm just enjoying myself. You know, it'd be nice to catch a good one, but I'm not seeing a lot of potential. I'm not seeing shad, you know. I'm just not seeing a whole bunch of bait. So, you know, the forage base may not be up to snuff. And, you know, of course I haven't fished the whole lake, but I keep looking out in these stumps and standing timber and stuff, and I mean, I'm seeing a little bit of shad here and there, but just not a big supply of shad. And there are bluegill up shallow, so I would imagine there's a lot of these fish are feeding on bluegill. But we're gonna keep throwing this little jig. Maybe we'll run across one. Beats work though, right? There we go. Hey, it's a better fish on that lay down. Imagine that. Hey, we having fun though. Having fun. Look at that guy. Woo! Wampa Gator. Oh, yep. They're back. Little pig jig. Another one. Man, we're catching some fish. There's ain't no size to them. Another one. Man, yo, beautiful fish. That wood, man, you get around that wood and you get a bite most of the time. Especially if you got like 10 or 12 feet of water off the front of it. Shaky head's coming alive. We on them now, boys. We are on them. Got a little shaky head fish. There we go. Watermelon red. Anytime you're fishing in clear water, and this water is like 12 to 14 foot of visibility. Watermelon red. It's a really good color, shaky head. And you know, something else I noticed was there's a lot of, I'm not seeing any shad, but I am seeing a lot of minnows. and that's why I decided to go with this, you know, more kind of centipede, Cinco style bait. It looks more like a minnow. There's a lot of this little, you know, like 3 to 4 inch minnows swimming around. So this has definitely got that minnow look to it. And we're getting some bites on it. We are getting some bites on it. Watermelon red, baby. They're all over this worm. Should have been throwing the worm the whole time, I think. But I was going for big fish with the jig. Still caught small fish with the jig. This is definitely getting a lot more bites than the jig. Of course, it's getting later in the day too, so I don't know, maybe they're feeding a little more. Boy, it'd be nice to catch like a 3-pounder. I know there's some in here. It's gotta be. Bites the dust. Crazy. They all the same size. It's wild how they're all the same size. Yep, that's what's going on today, folks. Hey, we had fun. That's gonna wrap it up. This is a beautiful lake. It's a beautiful lake. It's been probably 12 or 15 years since I fished this, and last time I was here, you know, it produced a bunch of small fish. There are some big fish that show up here occasionally. This lake is stocked with trout, so there's some trout eaters in here, but as far as a lake to catch, you know, numbers of good quality fish, I don't think this is it. I doubt this is ever going to show up on the Bassmaster's top 100 lakes to fish, or I don't believe it's a top 10 in Illinois as well, but it is very, very beautiful out here. It's a great place to come and just enjoy nature. There's hardly any boat traffic. There's some kayakers. There's no development on the bank. I mean, it's straight up nature. Downside is, excuse me, downside is you gotta be careful where you run. It's full of standing timber. You know, I went down and fished the creek to the right and kind of stayed back in there because you can't really just run around. You just bump stuff. I mean, I guess if you're local, you could run around. And but I get too nervous. You know, I'm bumping stuff and it's just standing timber everywhere. And the lake's, you know, 40, 50, 60 foot deep. There's still standing timber out in the middle of it. But great lake. I mean, I may have just hit it on a bad day. You know, we got a cold front coming through. The north wind is just howling. But it was an absolute gorgeous day. We caught plenty of fish. I mean, if you come here, you know, you want to catch some fish, throw a shaky head, a small jig. And I know you could probably catch them on a little top water or a popper or something. It's got grass in it, a lot of standing timber, a lot of wood. Wood was the key. You know, I caught most of the fish off of wood today. That's it, man. That is it. I tried to catch a big one for y'all. It just didn't happen. So I definitely would come and check it out if you want someplace that's really, really beautiful. I'm gonna try to do some more of these lesser known series lakes. Thanks for coming along on this adventure. Until next time.